Yeah, hello, all you wonderful people. I hope all of you are doing good. So, welcome to Cat Ninjas. So, we'll have the continuation of the allegations that we were discussing last evening. So, that's a part two. I hope those who have heard to the part one, you will be in a better position to handle the part two today. So, as usual, every day at around 2ish in the afternoon, we are doing the classic series on DILR, and at 10 in the night, we are doing the quantitative series, especially the most impactful and important question concepts and the question types is what we are trying to discuss with about 90-95 days to CAT. All right, that's been the whole idea out here. Fair enough. I'm guessing that everyone is doing good. Quick, give a quick confirmation. The audio is all well. So audio video files are synced. To give a quick confirmation on that, let's get started. Yeah, looks all is good. Welcome Sarthak. Welcome Anurag. Welcome. Welcome, Ayush. Good evening. Good evening. Welcome, Amit. Welcome, welcome, Yash. Glad to have you guys here. Good evening. Good evening, Mohit. Good evening. All right, let's get started. Well, Kushal, well, that's nice. All working fine. Thanks for the confirmation. Good. So I guess it's time. Let's get started. And let me do a quick understanding about my background. So I'm Srinivas Belvi. I worked in various capacities, both as the trainer as well as the part of the management, as course director at Time Bangalore, and as chief coach academics at Endeavor Careers, and also as senior manager academics or career launcher. Likewise, and meanwhile, I also developed expertise how to train students on various areas like quantitative aptitude, BI, and DLR in a very structured way. And that's a little bit of my credentials as a background. And if you want to be counseled or you have any queries that has to be addressed one to one, because most of which sometimes you try to ask in a very generic sense in the group. So which might not be really possible to address in that particular fashion, because unless I understand a little bit of your background, it may not be possible to counsel. And hence, there's a chart that you can use. You can use it and you can ping me there saying that, Belvi, this is the query. So I will sure come back and address your query, or we can have a dialogue out there. uh, yes, that's a little bit how we can proceed. Great, let's get started on this note. And what we are trying to do is we will try to continue from previous day's lecture, right? And keep that in mind. If you have not done the first lecture, try and follow it if you have done this before. But if you have not done the allegation before or the weighted average before, weighted average, especially allegation as a tool before, it might throw up a little bit of a challenge in today's lecture, because I'll be talking. I'll be already now. So there are three types. Type one and type two is what we covered. Type 3 is technically built upon what we discussed in type 1 and type 2. Then we will be looking at the CAT questions built on these concepts, right? That's been the simple agenda for today. That's how we go about it. Yeah, before we start with the agenda, let me do quick announcements. Yeah. Uh, Unacademy offers two kinds of subscription. One is a plus, the other one is an iconic. Plus is about more structured courses. See, because you may have to sometimes match your ambition with your effort, right? That's what I kind of see. And the effort is very, very relative. To give honest perspective on this, look, all right, so if you are looking at 95 percentile, so you are talking about generally about 2,20,000 people, right? CAT, let's round it up to 2 lakh people, about 2 lakh people writing the CAT. If you're thinking that, okay, to stand a fair chance of getting into top notch B schools, I'm expecting anywhere in the top 95 percentile, which means you are in the top 5% of the test takers. Nothing but already your All India rank is nothing but 5% of this number, which is nothing but All India rank 10,000. So technically, I'm trying to say that you need to really push back 1,90,000 people behind you. If you want to be in the top 10,000 rank, it's all about being ahead of others. It's a relative competition. There is nothing like this score will get me this, that score will get me this. Everybody is fighting for their slots. That's a realistic understanding one should get. So you, all of us have this ambition. So definitely already when you are listening to me, we all want to get to above 95. But the point is, I need to be one step ahead of others. There is no choice in the matter. For that, your ambition has to be backed by the right kind of efforts and practice, which is very, very important. You do the wrong practice and expect some other result to happen, that will not happen, right? I'm sure. All right, now, so what also plays an important role in this could be your mock cats. All right, mock cats are very, very important. Mock tests are very important. I spoke about these mocks in one of my videos. Please go back and listen to those particular mocks. What is that? What is the importance of mocks? Unless you take somewhere about 20 to 30 mocks, you don't stand a good chance, right? Because you need to crush, you need to push the 1,90,000 to 1 lakh, 2 lakh people technically. All right, now 2 lakh people, more than 2 lakh people, because about 2,20,000 people up here. I rounded it to 2 lakh, but if you look at the last 4 years, it's technically 2 lakh 20 people. In the sense, you got to literally push about 2 lakh 5,000 people behind you. All right, that's the whole idea there, which is not an easier task. Being ahead of 2 lakh test takers is not an easier task. So do the right kind of practice, do the right kind of training. Only then you will be able to push these many people behind you. Otherwise, I've seen in my teaching career in the last 14 years, it's not all right. It's not going to be easy kind of. Right, all right. Coming to that, for that, some structured learning, the deeper learning is important. See, here I'm doing the kind of level 2, right? So it's not level 3. Maybe, all right, yeah, what I'm doing, the inputs will take you to 95 for sure, provided you kind of practice it. But if you're looking at 99 kind of, probably much more structured course could be required. That's what I mean by the plus courses, which can offer you that. Iconic is the personal guidance. Sometimes what we do is, all right, we get stuck at about 93 percentile. How to go from 93 to 97 percentile? Probably you might have to have an intimate discussion with someone who has done it, and someone like who will hold it, because everywhere there is a resistance point. Sometimes the 85 percentile will be a resistance point. A lot of people don't expect this. People reach one particular score, 85 percentile, and they get badly stuck there. It becomes a resistance point. From 85, or they'll go up to say 90 or 91 percentile. That becomes another resistance point. But the point is, how you need to innovate your thought process. So a little bit of innovation is required there, because same old method, same old score will come. So what is that something different you should do to unleash from 95, 85 to 91, 91 to say, all at 91 to say about 95 or 93, whatever. All right, know those kind of thoughts, because I've been counseling, so I know that all right, what are the kind of resistance levels people will have at some score. Just like the share markets will have resistance at some particular number, our mind also has a resistance at a particular number. From there, we need to understand that how do I unlock. See, that is where comes the personal guidance, test analysis, study planner, whatsoever it is. So for that, first they will try to understand. See, if I were that person, I will understand your SWOT. So I will come back, I will have a discussion. First, I will try to understand from the academic perspective your background. Only then certain suggestions can be made how you can move from 91 to 95. For the other person, it will be very different. For you, the way forward is different from how the other person will go from 91 to 95. Could be different based on your own SWOTs. All right, yeah, that's what you mean by, just to explain this, because a lot of people don't understand what is this personal guidance, what is this test analysis. They don't understand these terms. Therefore, I thought I will give you that quick understanding about what it means by this. Fair enough. The plus subscriptions. So for 6 months, and these are the kind of pricing. This is what the subscription fee. And on this subscription fee, use Belvi 10, Belvi 100. So that is my name, and this is the code. Use this particular code, you get about 10% discount. You don't get 100% discount just because you type in 100 there. Though you type in Belvi 100, you get 10% discount on that, right? Okay, fair enough. And then subscriptions for Iconic, because there is a lot of one-to-one mentoring involved there. This is how the fees comes, and you can use the same code to unlock these particular registrations. Fair enough. Now let's get on to the lecture. What I do is I'll do a quick revision of one or two questions from the last from the previous lecture. Then we'll jump start into today's lecture, because today we need to understand the type 3 and then go to the CAT questions. Here we go. A man invests 3,000. All good here, all good here, all good. Shall we get started? All is well, all is well. Any concerns? Give a quick understanding there. Okay, between this Alankrit joined, Rajashri joined, yeah. Mohit, you are trying to say that link shows it is expired. Which link, Mohit? I didn't understand this. Which link is expired? Okay. Anurag, Rajashri. The Telegram one is expired. Okay, okay. All right. So let me give a different link in that case. No worries. So in the next lecture, wait till the next lecture. Is this a cat question? Yes. Yes, yes, because type 1 we already did it last day, right? So we are just exploring it now. So how does this type 1 comes out there? This was one of the easier question which was asked. One of the very easy questions from CAT on the type 1. I told you type 1 questions are pretty easy. This is the CAT question as it is. This is the CAT question as it is with the answer choices being as it is. Pretty simple one, right? A man invests 3,000 at the rate of 5% per annum. How much more should he invest at the rate of 8% so that he can earn a total of 6% per annum? All right, there are two schemes. There is a first scheme which offers a return of 5%. There is a second scheme, or there is a second scheme which offers a return of 8%. What is the average expected return? There are two schemes because all right, now he felt that it is safe, but he would have invested everything at 8%, but he felt that okay, let me play it safe. Maybe let me park my money in different banks. Why should I go behind? Why should I park everything in one place and something happens? So maybe be a cautious side. So therefore, scheme one is returning 5%. Scheme two returns 8%. Overall, he has a target of 6%. Fair enough. So therefore, now you say that what is the ratio in which he should put his principles? Ratio in which he should put his principles. 8 minus 6, you subtract it in the same line. 8 and 6, this becomes 2, and this is 5, and this is 6, therefore this becomes 1. Right, therefore this is 2 and this is 1. So what is that he is trying to say? A man invests 3,000 at the rate of 5%. He says that hey, this is not 2 in the scheme 1. If he is investing 3,000 rupees, this is 3,000 rupees. So how much he should be investing in the scheme 2? That is 2 corresponds to 3,000. Therefore 1 corresponds to 1,500. So this is what we discussed yesterday at the level 1. Like this is the level 1 question. This is one of the easiest question. Therefore I just picked it and put it in the CAT perspective, because sometimes we think that hey, isn't it the scheme on SI or whatever? All right, that's what we are kind of trying to understand, SI scheme or CI scheme. So all those things. But yes, we can do this by using allegation as well. Allegation accommodates as long as there are three parameters. There are three parameters which talks about the qualitative aspect. We can always use the allegation. That is the whole point out there. Fair enough. All right. So let's take another question. Let's take another question. You guys can give me the answer. You guys can give me the answer to this. Those who attended the yesterday's first lecture, you can give me the answer to this particular question. Then we will get on to today's topic. That serves as a warm up. Then we'll go on to the today's topic. Go ahead. Let me know the answer to this question. Those who were there yesterday, all those who participated yesterday, give me the answer to this. Yep. Put your response in the chart. Is it a lag? Are you guys sitting with a pen and a paper? Are you guys sitting with a pen and a paper? It doesn't take so long if you're sitting with a pen and a paper. Fine. A merchant has 48 kg of wheat, part of which he sells at 12.5%. Okay, so this is the expected profit, scheme 1. So 12.5% gain and the rest at a loss. Look at that. Yesterday we were talking about, hey, let's speak consistently. That's what we were talking about yesterday. So on one hand, we are talking gain. On the other hand, we are talking loss. And again, we are talking about gain. So now that's a problem. Loss. Loss can be written as negative gain. right? Negative gain. Consistently change them, negative gain. Therefore, you say that the second scheme is minus 3.5%. Minus 3.5%. Overall, how much gain he wants? Overall, he wants a gain of 7.5%. Overall, he wants a gain of 7.5%. So now these are the qualitative figures that you write out there and then put them in the similar line here. You put them 12.5 minus 7.5, all at which becomes 5 on one hand. So on the other side, 7.5, this is very careful friends, 7.5 minus of minus 3.5, which technically becomes 10. 7.5 minus of minus 3.5, which is very important there. Bigger number minus smaller number. Smaller number is negative. Minus of minus 3.5 is what is kind of expected there. So therefore, that would become 11. So therefore, 11 is to 5, which means for every 11 kgs that he sold under the first profit margin, he will be selling 5 under the second profit margin. Total, all right, now total is how much? This is 11 here, this is 5 here, therefore the total is nothing but 16. 11 plus 5 is 16. 16 corresponds to 48. That is what he said. All right, total he has 48 kgs. 16 corresponds to 48. Find the quantity sold under 12.5%. Therefore, 11 corresponds to how much? 11 corresponds to how much? 16 corresponds to 48. Therefore, 11 corresponds to how much? 16 three times. Therefore, 11 into 3 is nothing but 33 kgs. So he would be selling 33 kgs under the first scheme. Pretty simple question. But all I tried to say was consistency of the units. Yesterday I was talking about this. There was a cost price, but suddenly there was a selling price. Then we said that if it is a cost price, be consistent with your thought process. Pretty much similar out here. So if you are talking on one hand gain, the other already gain, and suddenly already there comes a word loss, use the negative sign, convert it that gain to the loss to the negative gain, and then proceed. Otherwise, already know you will get a different answer. Let's be mindful about the consistency. This is another word that we kind of spoke about. All right, yeah, good. So that's it as a warm up from our yesterday's lecture. Whatever we discussed yesterday, that becomes a kind of a warm up. Now let's look at one of the questions. What is this type 3? All right, type 3. Let's take a look at the type 3 kind of question where you will find awkward ratios. Because it becomes awkward ratios, a lot of people tend to take quite a bit of time to work with these kind of questions. Let me illustrate using this particular question. It's just about a method. There is nothing new here. There is nothing new here. It is just about the method. Once I tell the method, we will directly jump on to the CAT questions and we will try and see how all these three parts have come together in the CAT question. It's just more to do with the method. A lot of people they don't understand this third method. They tend to take more time. See, what is that we are constrained by in the exam? We are constrained by 40 minutes. If you are writing a question paper like CAT, we are constrained in quant by 40 minutes. Therefore, methods play an important role. Right approach, it should be simplistic to remember. At the same time, if it is a solid method, so we'll save a lot of time out there. That's kind of very important. So that's what the approach I'm talking about here. Fair enough. There are two containers which contain milk water solution. In the first container, the milk and water solution are in the ratio 7:2. If you want to write this as a percentage, it is not good, right? It doesn't sound pretty good there. 7/2, you will say that if you want to write from the milk perspective or water perspective, that's a choice that you have. Yesterday we talked about it. Yesterday we were getting nice numbers, 40%, 60%. We are getting some nice numbers. But if you look for valid, if you look at the concentration of milk, it becomes 7 divided by 9. What is 7 plus 2, which is 9? That becomes the concentration of milk. You decided to write from milk perspective. But if you write 7 by 9, you will be writing 77.77%. Fair enough. Then on the other side, second class, the milk and this, you will write it as 7/3. All right, that becomes 7 out of 10. This would be 7 out of 10. Looks like 70%. Looks like 70%. Then you come back and say that new solution, the milk and water is 11/4. So 11:4. Therefore, you write it as 11/15. Again, that becomes another percentage. 1/15 is 6.66%. Again, you multiply that by 11. So looks solid now. So they all look kind of a crazy number. So therefore, what we do, now listen to me carefully. Listen to me very carefully. What I do is I will take the ratiomatic approach. 7:2. Write it as the first one, solution 1 or the cast 1. 7 divided by 9. You decided to write from the milk perspective. Milk or water does not matter. But now I decided to write in the ratio perspective. And the percentage numbers don't work out well for me. I kind of write in the ratio perspective. Fair enough. Second solution. Hey, what about the second solution? Second solution is 7/10. Second solution is 7 by 10. All right. What is the final resultant? What is the resultant expected when you put them together? Resultant expected is 11 divided by 15. That one is here, 11 by 15. I'm writing from the milk perspective. This is the resultant which is expected. Fair enough. So now what to do? Now look at this. All denominators are looking crazy. They are looking pretty different. They're looking crazy out here. So what you do on this case is, hey, find the LCM of the denominators. Find something common between them. Just quickly take the LCM of the denominator. Why? Match the denominators. Then you can compare the numerator pretty quick and pretty fast. All right, that way you can do this. Okay, what is the LCM of all these particular denominator? Take 90. 90 is the LCM, or multiple of LCM is also fine. 90 means what I should do? Listen to me carefully. Do it into 10 and into 10. Denominator you made it 90. Do it into 9 and into 9. Once you decided that 90 is the denominator, try to make the denominator 90. Look at this. You have a 9 here in the denominator. Attack the denominator. Multiply this by 10, becomes 90. Multiply the numerator also by 10. The fraction value does not change. Similarly here, when you're looking at 7 by 10, make it 90. 90 is the number that you want to make every denominator. What is the factor of multiplication? Into 9. Do this also into time. Hey, 15 also I want to make it 90. 15 how many times? 6 times. This also you make it 16 times. Now copy. All denominators are same. 90 here, 90 here, 90 here. Copy this question. Only the numerators you copy now. Numerator is what? 7 into 10. Solution 1, copy it as 70. Solution 2, copy it 7 into 63. 63. What is the median here? 11 into 6, 66. Copy only the numerator. Because the denominators have been matched, copy only the numerator. Therefore, you say that, hey, this has become 3:4. This has become 3:4. That's your answer there, right? So therefore, you say that this should be mixed in the ratio 3:4. What I'm trying to say is, whenever the ratios come, however the complex the question get, we will see it in one, or we'll see it in some more time. Okay, LCM of the knowledge. What you do is, when the denominators are a mismatch, percentages does not look like nice numbers, and you have on top of that something like none of these kind of answer options, all you got to do is match the denominators. How do I match the denominators? Take the LCM of the denominators, right? Take the LCM of the denominators and tackle this particular question. Fair enough. All right, you got the third one. Approach is clear to you. Third one, the approach is clear. Type 3 approach is clear to everybody here. Approach is clear. Give a quick confirmation, whoever is there in the meeting, who are listening to me, give a quick confirmation that you kind of understood. Match the denominators. That is the key. Type 3 that we are trying to learn is match the denominator. Go ahead, put it in the chat. All is well. You understood the type 3, matching the denominator part, which gives the speed and momentum. Okay, Yash is clear. Rajeshri is clear. Sarthak good. Mr. Mahapatra is good. Mohit is fine. Ayush is fine. Good. All right. All right. All you got to do is just match the denominator. That's it. That's it. That's it. So that some people miss that orientation. Therefore, they tend to take more time to handle some of those questions. Yeah. Here comes a CAT question. Let's do this together. Very simple CAT question on this. Simple one. And as we go along, we'll scale the difficulty level and check what is the CAT's expectation as we go along. Towards then, by the time we reach the end, we will have the realistic expectation from the CAT. Now, these are some easy questions which come in CAT. These kind of questions, we call them as easy. Two liquids A and B are in the ratio. There are two liquids in the ratio 5:1 in first container, and it's in the 1:3 in the second container. Fair enough. So you want to write from A's perspective or B's perspective is your choice. Let me say that I want to write from A's perspective. You may say that, no, sir, I want to write from B's perspective. Doesn't matter. I decide, it doesn't matter. Then you write the different numbers there. That's it. Your answers won't change. I want to write from A's perspective. A is how much? 5 out of 6. So therefore, 5:1 becomes 5 out of 6. It's always out of total. A's perspective, first container. Container 1, 5 out of 6. Container 2, right? 1 out of here, 1 out of 4. That's a container 2, 1 out of 4. Resultant, what is the resultant? 1 out of 2, because A is 1, total is 2. Resultant, it becomes 1 out of 2. All right. So just take the LCM of the denominators, because all denominators look different. Therefore, LCM of 6 and 4 and 2, all right, which would become 12. Simply make every number 12. Once you understood that the LCM of the denominators is 12, make all the denominators 12. Okay, how much I need to multiply by? Into 2. Therefore, numerator also multiply by 2. The fraction value does not change. Therefore, do into 2 and into, sorry, here, make it 12. How do you make it 12? 4 into 3. Therefore, this is also into 3. All right, therefore this is also into 3. Make this into 6, therefore make this also into 6. Make these numbers into 6. Fair enough, my friends. Let's take a look at this. Therefore, let's come to container 1 and container 2. Look at the numerators alone now. 5 into 2, 10. 3 into 1, 3. 6 into 1, 6. Record only the numerators. Therefore, the ratio becomes 3 is to 4. Therefore, the ratio becomes 3 is to 4, which is the required answer for this particular question. I think by now, you should be clear with the type 3. By now, you should be clear with the type 3. Now, let's go. Let's start hitting a little bit of depth here and there, and let's try and figure this out. All right. Here comes the next CAT question. So I will give you about a minute's time. You should be able to close it in about a minute's time. Go ahead, my friends. Try this now. Everyone try this now. All of you who got this a minute's time, try and close this particular question. Go ahead. Go ahead, everybody. Go ahead. Close this. Yeah, Deepak, answer to your question next month. Yeah, September. You're asking when will be my plus batch launching next month. No answer from anyone. It's time. Still, there is no answer from anyone. Go ahead. Go ahead. You can do by any type. Now you know all of them. Type 1, type 2, type 3, all are done. So whole logic is done. It's just a matter of time. Good. Okay. Good. Good. Superb. 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 Very well, guys. Very well. Very impressive. You pick it up very fast. You guys are picking it up very, very fast. All right. Yeah. A man by spirit. Very good. Very good. Very impressive. Very impressive. I liked it. Yeah. Very impressive. A man by spirit at 60 per liter. So therefore, there is a type 1. Call it type 1. So it's 60 per liter. So let's say that is 60 rupees 60. That's a pricing rupees per liter. Adds water to it. Therefore, type 2. We talked about this yesterday. Unless they mention it, take the price of the water as 0. Take the price of the water as 0 and sells it at 75 per liter. Sells it because it's a water. We are paying for spirit. We are paying for spirit. Spirit is 60 per liter and you are adding water to it. All right, now this is the water component. So water component, but I'm thinking from the spirit perspective. I pay for spirit, not for water. Right? Therefore, 60 rupees, first one, second one is 0. That's right. And 75 per liter, then he sells it at 75 per liter. So thereby making a profit, thereby making a profit of 37.5%. 37.5%. The fraction is 3 by 8. Therefore, the multiplier is 11 by 8. So therefore, you say that cost price into 11 by 8 is equal to 75. Therefore, the cost price of the mixture is 75 into 8 divided by 11. So you say that, hey, I need to sell this at 7. Okay, what is 75 into 8? 600. 600 divided by 11. You say that, okay, I will be selling this at 600 divided by 11. Simple. So denominators are 1 here. I can write 0 by 1 here. Now I have it as 11. So therefore, I am taking the LCM of 1 comma 1 comma 11, which essentially becomes 11. Which essentially becomes 11. So therefore, multiply all the numbers by 11. This into 11 here. So multiply all the numbers wherever you have to make the denominator 11. Make it 11 there. So go here, make it into 11, make it into 11, make it into 11, make it into 11. Come back and position them T1, T2 and the median. So you say that 60 here, you put 0 here, you put 600 here, and you take that ratio. You get this as 600 is to 60, which would become 1 is to 10. Very simple question, or like very simple question, 10 is to 1. That's what you are trying to say, that for every 10 liters of spirit, you are adding 1 liter of water. All right, that is the ratio in which you got to mix this up. Pretty good. All right, so all of you did this well. Pretty good, pretty good. Now let's go a little deeper now. Simple one, another simple one, then I'm hitting the depths. Maybe another one at the level 1, level 2 kind of level. These are all level 1, level 2 from CAT perspective. From other exam perspective, you can solve it as level 2. Hey, thanks Deepak. Thank you. Thanks man. Thanks man. Thanks for encouraging comment. Right. Let's take a look at this. Crack it, friends. Crack it. Let me time it again. A minute or so. Crack this. It's at the same level. Yes, Amit, we'll do that. We will do that. I will do a lecture on multiplier, importance of multiplier. Yeah, first you do this question. Close it, close it. Time is up. Close it quickly. Close it. Close the answer. Good. Kushag, Riyash, Ayush. Very good. Nice. Okay. Right. Right. Very encouraging. Very good. Very good. All right. Let's take a look at this. So again, you want to write from selection perspective or rejection perspective is your choice. Let me write from the reject perspective. Or let reject perspective. Let me write it from the reject perspective. You may say that, sir, I want to write from selection perspective. Now, selection or rejection is based on what? Production. So you reject the components out of production itself. Whatever you select or what you reject is based on your production component. Therefore, naturally, you will get the ratio of production. All right. Friday on one hand, Saturday on the other hand. Okay, what happened on side Friday? Friday, 95% of the total production, right? The acceptance is 95%. Therefore, what is the rejection? 5%. Because I decided to write from rejection. No, I want to write from acceptance, write 95. Right? Rejection perspective, 5%. Right? And then all it now he's saying that the rejected pieces. Second part is rejected pieces on Saturday. Directly rejected pieces are given 10%. But if you're writing accepted, write 90%. All right, yeah. The overall rejection rate on 2 days put together is 8.33%. 8.33%. All right, therefore, what is the answer? Simple. First, let me write them in the fraction form. Yeah, what is 5%? All right, now let me write another one for Friday and Saturday. Why? Because 8.33 writing as a fraction is a lot more easier. So Friday, all right, if you write this, you may say that Friday 5% is 1 by 20. 10% is 1 by 10. 8.33% is 1 by 12. I just wrote all my numbers in the fraction form. Technically, after reading this question, I wouldn't have written it this. I would have directly written this because which form to write, I will decide when I read the question. Because while reading the question, I come across this 8.33. I know that writing this as 1 by 12 is faster, better. All it better to get the accurate answer and the much faster answer. Therefore, what we do, we don't say that first I will write like this and then transfer like this. No, you make a decision whether to take a fraction approach, whether to take a percentage approach. You make a decision the moment you read that particular question. You don't do this double work. I do this, then I do this. Of course not, right? Because I have to correct your thought. This is I recorded the data. Why I was doing this was just to record the data for you so that we all feel comfortable. Okay, this is what it is. But when you are solving it, you don't say that I will record it first and then I will manipulate, then I'll find my answer. Of course not. You don't take that three-step approach, right? Yeah. You'd have written this directly. And again, you now go to the LCM. LCM of what? The denominators. You go to the LCM of 20, 10, and 12, which becomes 60. LCM of 20, 10, and 12, the denominators is nothing but 60. All right, if it is 60, you decided to make every denominator 60, then make it 12 into 5. Therefore, this is also into 5, make it 60. This is into 3, therefore this is into 3. This is into 6, therefore this is into 6. Coming back, a Friday and Saturday, so only copy the numerators now. 1 into 3 becomes 3, 1 into 6 becomes 6, 1 into 5 becomes 5. Call it 1 into 5 becomes 5. Therefore, 1 is to the production. If it's 1 unit was produced on one day, 2 units were produced on the next day. The production rate was in the ratio 1 is to 2, wherein A becomes the answer, because question was Friday to Saturday. First write the Friday data and then you write the Saturday data. Now this kind of summarizes our basic understanding of type 3. Okay, now what we will do is, now let's go to little bit of deeper versions of this or the variations of this in the last 20 minutes or so. In the next remaining time, we will go on to the deeper versions of this. Let's go to the deeper versions of this. Before that, a quick announcement. So what I'll be doing tomorrow is I'll be taking 3 lectures tomorrow, and all the free special classes, all 3 of them are free special classes. This comes on the Unacademy app. Unacademy app. Maybe at the end of this particular lecture, if you have not downloaded the Unacademy app, so download it by using Belvi 100. While you are downloading, it might ask for a code. When it asks for a code, use the Belvi 100 and then you download it and then press the bell icon and keep these 3 lectures ready, so that whenever the time is due, or they will pop up. What we'll be doing? One, I'll be discussing about certain important concepts and the approaches for ratios and proportion. There are some things which are not very important, which means pretty elementary. I don't want to speak about them. It's a waste of time for you as well as for me. So because every time we spend some time, there should be some learning portion there, right? So we don't want to waste some time repeating whatever we know with 95 days to go. I don't want to repeat too much of substance out there. So I will talk about the approaches from CAT perspective and some of the must know types. And then yes, and then we'll be doing a DILR. We'll be doing a DILR, the must know one set maybe, or a couple of sets maybe, right, at 6 p.m. And then at 8 again we'll come back and do the alligation mixture. Very important. Removal and replacements, CAT's favorite, right? Removal and replacement. We will complete that particular theme at 8 p.m. tomorrow. Note down these particular timings. The one good thing about the special classes, these free special classes, is the lecture notes will be shared at the end of your lecture, right? So your lecture, and press the bell icon and keep it ready. You can do it anywhere, anytime. You can do it on the laptop also. You can do it on your mobile as well, whichever way is convenient to you, right? So just download this part down. So if you are liking the part of our lecture either now or at the end of the lecture, don't hesitate. Take time to like and share the link with others as well, so that others also come back and participate with us, right? So that would be very encouraging at 10 o'clock, coming in large numbers and doing it together would be very interesting to do it. Yeah, don't forget to like the button, press the like button, because a lot of us, we like it, but then we keep it tacit to ourselves. Don't do that. If you like it, all it express it. Express it. It is good for all of us. Okay, coming back now. Coming back. So now we are going little deeper into the CAT questions. Yeah, here we go. I will give you solid 2 minutes time to crack. Solid 2 minutes time to crack. I want to exhibit that if you understood my first and this lecture so far, you must be in a position to crack this. This is what I'm looking for. This is the skill what I was looking for. So a couple of questions will exhibit our skill out here. So this is the closure. If we can do them in about 2 minutes time, our understanding is much more superior. Yep. Yeah, Mohit, already you are asking a question. Will the lectures get saved? If it gets saved, provided you listen to those lectures. On the app also it gets saved once you attend that particular lecture. Yes, you got to attend the lecture, then it gets saved. That's what I guess. Mr. Mahapatra, Mohit has answered your query. Put Cat Ninjas 1.0, you get all the Cat Ninja lectures. That's right. That's nice. That's nice. Why don't you put your name? Athena Teaching. Why don't you put your name? I don't think your name is Athena. If that is the name, then fair enough. So I think it's code. So you can always let me know your name. Oh, that's a nice name. Okay. Yeah, that's right, Mohit. It reminded me of Athens. That's right. Go ahead. It's time up. Put in your choices if you got some. Okay. Okay, all right. This is a brilliant one. So now I'm bringing type 2 also inside, right? Type 2 is what? Single replacement. Yesterday we discussed what is type 2. Type 2 is single replacement, right? Single replacement. So multiple replacement is what we are going to talk tomorrow, right? Multiple replacements is what we are going to talk tomorrow. So single replacement is what we are trying to talk using alligation. Alligation helps us in a single replacement. Let's understand this. Okay, do it with me. Do it with me. Now don't keep typing. Do it with me. Let's focus. Listen to this and close it. A vessel has a milk solution in which milk and water are in the ratio 4:1. By addition of water to it, milk solution with milk, water in the ratio becomes 4:3 was formed. On replacing, now listen to this, replacing, single replacement, that's what we are talking about. On replacing 14 liters of this solution, which is that solution? 4:3. This is referring to what? This is referring to 4:3, milk first and then water. Okay. On replacing 14 liters of this solution with the pure milk, with what you are mixing here, pure milk, the ratio of milk and water will become 5:3. Okay, guys, listen first. I will crack this portion first. You may wonder, okay, why not the other portion? Because other portion is what I want. What is the volume of water added? Volume of water added is here, addition is here. I will go to that later. See, first I need to understand that once I read this question, which part I need to unlock first. Some people make that mistake. What they do is they will always do first thing first. Hey, first sentence has come here, therefore I will do the first sentence first. Not necessarily, right? Not necessarily. You have to navigate through the idea. All right, idea is what? It is your this is referring to 4:3. This portion, this is referring to 4:3. Let me go to that this first. So you want to write from milk perspective or water perspective? That is the first thing. Milk perspective, let me write. If I'm writing from milk perspective, milk is 4 out of 7. Milk is 4 out of 7. All right, in the second format. Replacing. Replacing by what? Pure milk. Pure milk means what? 1 out of 1. 100%. All right, pure milk means 1 out of 1. All right, if you take 1 liter, the entire 1 liter is going to be milk. All right. So how much it will become now? Milk to water ratio becomes how much here? 5:3, which means 5 by 8. 5:3 means milk perspective 5 by 8. All right, let's apply the alligation on this. So before applying alligation, the bases are different. Hey, what is that? Match all the bases, match it, multiply this by into 8. Multiply this by into 8. You decided to make all bases 56. So multiply this by 7. Multiply this by 7. Multiply this by 56. Multiply this by 56. What did I do? I took the LCM of 7, 1 and 8, which became 56. I matched all my bases to 56. Now let me quickly rewrite these numbers. 4 into 8. Therefore, the first one, 28. Sorry, 32. First one is 32. Second one, 1 into 56 becomes 56. Next one, 7 into 5 is 35. Fair enough. This is what you are writing here. 3 on one side, 21 on the other side. Therefore, the ratio becomes 1:7. Ratio is 1:7. Hey, what is this one? What is this one? This is 14 liters. Now listen, this one is nothing but 14 liters. That is what author said. On replacing 14 liters. That's what he said. On replacing 14 liters. 14 liters is nothing but this one. One is 14 liters. That is replaced. What is the total therefore? Total is 7 and 1 put together. 7 and 1 put together. Total is 8 parts. One part corresponds to 14 liters. 8 parts corresponds to 8 into 14 liters, which is 112 liters. Fair enough. That was the total there. Which means before you came from the first process, there were 112 liters with you. That this is the type 2. What we did here is type 2. Yesterday's lecture. Those who didn't listen to the yesterday's lecture, Please go back to the yesterday's lecture. From there, you copy this type 2. That's what here, replacement. Single replacement is a type 2 problem that we did. Okay, yeah, total was 112 liters. You replaced 14 liters. You removed 14 liters and you poured in 14 liters to change the concentration from 4 is to 3 to 5 is to 3. That is what you technically did out there. It doesn't take much time. Hardly it will take any time. Once you understand it, this is what you need to unlock. Coming to the first portion, therefore. Okay. Now what has happened there? Now the first portion, milk to water. Again, I write from the milk perspective. It was 4 is to 1. Earlier it was 4 is to 1. That is 4 by 5. Initially it was 4 by 5. What did you add? Water. When you add water, it becomes 0 out of 1 liter. Just in case, if you take 1 liter, the water will be 0 liter. All right, water is going to be 0 liter. What you want? I finally want this, which becomes 4 is to 3. I finally want this, which becomes 4 is to 3. That is 4 into 7. LCM 35. Therefore, what is LCM of the denominators? 35. Make every number 35 into 5 into 7. Right? Therefore, into 7 into 35 and into 35. If you rewrite this particular figure, 4 into 7, 28. 0 into 35, 0. 4 into 5, 20. Right? Therefore, you say that this ratio is nothing but 20 is to 8. That is nothing but 2 is to 5. 2 is to 5. You are trying to say that for every 5 liters of this solution, 4 is to 1, initially for every 5 liters, you added 2 liters of water. Okay, what is the total here? Total is nothing but 7. 7 corresponds to how much? This 112 liter. You have to connect this. 7 corresponds to 112. Therefore, 2 corresponds to how much? Water added. 2 corresponds to how much? 7 corresponds to 112. Therefore, 2 corresponds to how much? All right, 7 one time. Right, the 7 6 times, 6 into 2, which becomes 32 liters. All right, that is the required answer here. 32 liters would be the required answer. Quickly, to put it to the perspective, you first crack the later half of the problem. Second half of the problem is what you are going to crack. You crack this portion. From here, you crack this portion you crack using the type 2 method, that is the single replacement method. Once you do the single replacement method, that is when you go back to the first proposition. Then you go to the first part, right? First part, all it is the addition. This is the type 1. You put the type 1 and you put the type 2 and you use the approach of type 3 in both of them. Look at this beautiful CAT question. Type 2 is a concept. Type 1 is a concept. But in both of them, since fractions were involved, type 3 is nothing but how to approach the fraction. One question, all 3 parameters covered. Type 1 is covered. Type 2 is covered. Type 3 is also covered. Now, this is what CAT does. And this is what we call it as level 2. This is what we call it as the level 2 questions. This at least we all need to have a control. This is the minimum control we should have on the allegation. Fair enough, my friends? Are it making sense to you, everybody? You can listen to this part of the lecture once again after my class ends. Probably you can note down the time or whatever. You can go back, since if it is not clear, just in case, please go back to this and try to understand this. Clear? 7 does not correspond to 112. I told you in the type 2 method yesterday, Mohit. Total corresponds to 112 because it's a replacement. Yesterday I was writing like this. Initial, final, initial and final. Initial case and the final case. Then I used to write the solution. Then what you are going to add. Then what I'm going to write total. This is how I taught the second approach, type 2. Now I don't write all this because we are already masters of type 2. Therefore, we directly represent them. Mohit, clear? Clear? This is how we used to write. I taught you like this yesterday in type 2. I explained like this, writing something like this. Yeah. Now today I didn't write it like this. That's it. Because yesterday we already learned it. No point again going back and writing like this. We don't write so much. Right? Very good. Very good. Very good. Let's try another beautiful question from CAT. Another beautiful question from CAT. This is lying between level 2 and level 3. This somewhere lies between level 2 and level 3. You can brand it as level 3, whatever you want to brand it. Beautiful question. Very, very beautiful question. Go ahead. I don't mind giving you 2 minutes for this because I really want you to try as my students. Try it and get me the number. By now you should have developed some muscle. We did enough exercise. Use that muscle. Because we need to understand what is the expectation of CAT. Sometimes it expects easy, level 1, sometimes it expects at the level 3, but we need to know the spectrum. I'm showing the spectrum today to you. Go ahead. Very similar to previous one. Amit, if you didn't follow the previous question, if you follow this question, you will get the answer. Same thing. Both are same. Previous question, this question have the similar nuts and bolts. Okay, if I give a little more time, you will close it. Yeah, so do it with me. Do it with me. No worries. No worries. It'll take some time to understand and some time to process that information. Yeah, it doesn't matter which side you start from. There is one replacement and there is one addition. Right? Addition was the method one. Replacement was the method two, the type one and type two. Ratios is the type three. All three are coming in the same question. All three portions are coming in the same question. Let's first understand. Use this word half. I will come to this word half at the end. At the end, I will come to it. Fair enough. Let me first come in here. The water. So here he's saying that the volume of milk and water mixture of ratio 7 is to 5 is converted into a mixture ratio 3 is to 5 by substitution method. What is substituted? 240 liters of milk is required in the replacement method. Replacement or substituted. Author has clearly mentioned that. Fair enough. So that is what he is trying to do to arrive at 3 is to 1. Fair enough. So now you want to put it on the milk or water. There is a choice. Let me explain it from the milk perspective, because that you have to decide. I told you in the method 1 itself. First you got to decide whether you want to approach this question from the milk perspective or water perspective. Okay, let me approach it from the milk perspective. If I am approaching it from the milk perspective, 7 is to 5, that is 7 divided by 12. That is the milk in the given composition. 7 is to, call it 7 is to 5. All right. Into a mixture in the ratio 3 is to 1. So what I want is 3 divided by 4. Okay, what is that? What is that I'm substituting? I'm substituting by pure milk. 240 liters of milk is required to arrive at this composition. Pure milk means 1 is to 1. Pure milk is 1 is to 1. LCM of the numbers 12. Therefore, I make this into 3. I make this into 3, which becomes 12. I make this into 12. I make this into 12. This is into 1 and this is into 1. You quickly write the same numbers in a different sense. Now you say that this 7 into 1, you write it as 7, or just remove them here, remove them here, remove them and interpret them here itself. Just remove them and do it here. So therefore there is 7 on one side, 12 on the other side, 9 on the other side. Therefore this is 3 and this is 7 minus 9, which becomes 2. 3 is to 2. That is what it happened there, which means the total, all it earlier, all it total. It's the replacement method. The total was 5. Total was 5 because 3 is to 2 is 5. Substitution happened is 2 liters. Now, what author is trying to tell us here? What author is trying to tell us here is nothing but this 2, what you are substituting is 240 liters. This 2 is nothing but 240 liters. 2 is nothing but 240 liters. Therefore, 5 is nothing but what? 5 was what your initial mixture was. What you took was 5. If 2 corresponds to 240 liters, then 5 corresponds to how much? 600 liters. which means you said that I took 600 liters, I removed 240 liters, and I put back 240 liters. That is when I arrived at the required composition, which means I started off with 600. This is type 2, my friend, replacement, type 2. I started off with 600 liters. I removed 240 liters. I replaced it by 240 liters of pure milk. That is when my concentration has changed from 7 by 12 to 3 by 4. 7 by 12 to 3 by 4. All right. The first portion is over. Coming to the second portion, second piece of information. The mixture of ratio 7 is to 5 was formed from the mixture 7 is to 3. All right. Now, how this 7 is to 5 was formed? I'm going back to the original. Formed by the mixture 7 by 3 by adding water to it. All right. So, this particular mixture, I will take this first. Again, let me write from the milk perspective. Let me write from the milk perspective. This mixture is 7 out of 10. Milk is 7 out of 10 here. Water is added. Added means type 1, right? Water is added. Adding. Water is added means 0 out of 1. This is water. All right, this is water. What you are mixing is water. How much milk is there in water? There is no milk in the water. Therefore, 0 by 1. What is that you want ultimately? What I want is 7 is to 7 by 5. That is nothing but 7 by 7 is to 5, which is nothing but 7 is to 12. Fair enough. So let me take the LCM. It becomes 60. Therefore, into 5, into 5, into, say, into 6 here. This will become into 6 and into 6. This is into 60 and this is into 60. What did you do? You matched all the denominators. So if you matched all the denominators, 60 if you remove it, all the denominators you remove, which means if you are doing in the exam, imagine as if it is not there. Imagine those numbers are not there. This is the number, this is the number, and this is the number. Put it to perspective. You say that this is 35 and this is 0. Therefore, this is 35. 7 into 6, 42, 35, which becomes 7. You are saying that the ratio is 1 is to 5. For every 5 liters, you added 1 liter of water. For every 5 liters of your mixture, which is in the form of 7 by 3, well, the mixture is 7 by 3. So you, for that, you added, out of for this 7 by 3, you added 5 liters. Now coming to this. Okay, what is this therefore? What is 5 is to 1? Listen to this statement carefully, my friends. Here there may be a chance of misunderstanding this. Listen to this. The mixture of 7 is to 5 was formed by mixing 7 is to 3 by adding water to it. This is 6 portions. Author is trying to say that this is 5 plus 1 is 6 portions. The 6 portions is equal to 600 liters. 6 portions is nothing but 600 liters. Fair enough. If this is 600 liters, how much water you are adding? If 6 corresponds to 600 liter, then 1 corresponds to 100 liter and 5 corresponds to 500 liter. Water is how much? 100 liter. You are now trying to say that water is 100 liter. Very technical, you can answer the question as this: 100 liter. A becomes my answer. It is very likely that people can mark 100, but I told you I will come to half. This whole question I have done is for half. For a half, answer is 100 liter. Therefore, for full, the answer will become 200 liters. See, he started by saying half. He started by saying half. I did this analysis for half. I took the half container. I did this whole analysis for the half container. But for the full, when I want the full, I just have to double this entire numbers. Double this number means what? Double this 100, which will become 200. Now, this is again, type 2 is involved here. Type 1 is involved here. Addition means type 1. There is a type 2 involved, type 1 involved, and type 3 is also involved. What is the type 3? Putting with the ratios. See, once you understand them, trust me, guys, these things will take about 90 seconds to 120 seconds to resolve it. All right, yeah. Based upon the reading speed, how soon you can read this, how soon you can calculate and process this, because calculation does not take much time if the concept is in place. When the concept is out of place, then the calculations might take some time. If the concept is in place, you understand type 1, type 2, type 3, all these 3 types get involved in a CAT question. The moment you carry this orientation, if something is missing, assume that only type 1 question is there, you will rock it. Only type 2 question is there, you will rock it. Type 2 with type 3 is there, you will rock it. Type 1 with type 3 comes there, you will rock it. So all right, when it becomes little difficult, when type 1, type 2 and type 3 all together come in one particular question, that is when it becomes tedious. That's when people call this as, hey, it has becoming level 2 or level 3 kind of question. This question I call it as a level 3 because this half can corners. Because the half can corners and one answer option 100 is there right in front of us, it is very likely that people can go for this 100, but actual answer is going to be 200. Did you all kind of follow this? Last two examples, did you all follow this? How type 1, type 2, type 3 get merged in a CAT question? Clear in this? Clear? Can I assume that it's clear to all of you? Clear? Good. Good. Mhm. Mr. Amit, these kind of questions will not be asked in CMAT. These type of questions are not no, will not be asked in CMAT, Mr. Amit. I think you asked the same question yesterday also. I said no, right? It won't come in the CMAT kind of. I'm not doing CMAT kind of. I'm clearly focusing on CAT, ZAT, IIFT. How it corresponds to 2 but not 3. Which side you wrote? Replacement side was this, right? Isn't this the replacement side and this was the solution side? Then this corresponds to 2. Solution side corresponds to 3, right, Mr. Mahapatra? So you know the structure, you know what you wrote which side. This is the replacement side and this is the solution side. So solution side corresponds to 3, replacement side will correspond to 2. So which side you are writing matters, right? Okay. Yeah, in between that, Arpan, you are trying to ask me a question that you will be able to do it when you are doing in the chapter, but when it comes to mock, you will not be able to do. There are two reasons for it. Why people doesn't fare well in the mock? There are two reasons for it. When you are doing it as a chapter, listen to me. When you are doing it as a chapter, this is called as the conditioned mindset. Condition. What do you mean by condition? There is a momentum on your side. There is a momentum on your side. You do one question on allegation, second question on allegation, third question on allegation. What happens? Momentum is built, right? Momentum is built. So once the momentum is built, some of the difficult questions also we can do. But what happens in a CAT? Just before you do the same question on allegation, you would have done a question on progression, right? You would have done a question on inequality. Or you would have done some other question there. So there is no momentum. Every question there will be a cold start. Every time you look at the new stimulus, there is going to be a cold start. That is the problem. That is number one. All right, there is no momentum there. Momentum will be lost. Every time you look at the new CAT question, you will not have a momentum. You have to carry the new momentum. This is something like a decathlon. All right, this is something like a triathlon or a decathlon. When all right, now why decathlon, triathlon are different? It is not running 800 meters completely. They'll say that you have to run for some time, you have to swim for some time, you have to cycle for some time. All that 10 different activities has to be done. It's a different ball game altogether. That is where people mistake. That's where I say that, hey, to understand how to get rid of this cold start then, because every question in quant you will have a cold start. How to get rid of that cold start? Cold start, you have to write a lot of mocks. You have to write a lot of mocks to for all it to all it now to all it now to kind of overcome that cold start. A lot of people don't understand this. That's why I say that you have to write as many mocks as you could. Otherwise, simply getting this momentum chapter by chapter does not help you. Trust me, it does not help you because you are already on the momentum. If you are doing Venn diagram, you are on the momentum, but that does not happen on the CAT day. Suddenly, one set pops up and you have to create a momentum on that, right? So that's the whole thing there. So, second thing that happens is the pressure. Pressure. Everybody cannot perform under pressure. You need to have a champion's mindset to perform under pressure, for which you need to develop the champion's mindset, right? So everybody cannot perform under the pressure. When you are doing a chapter wise, momentum is on your side and there is no pressure. There is a lack of pressure. The moment you sit in a mock or the actual exam, momentum is not on your side, pressure is not on your side. Okay, is this tip of counseling helping you? Anybody other than Arpan? Did you understand the importance of mocks? One way, there are many ways. You watch some of my videos I'm doing on the mocks, you will understand it a lot better. I hope this tip has helped somebody other than Arpan. Arpan raised this question. Very good question, Arpan. These are the two key reasons. There may be many simple reasons. I'm not talking about them. Key reasons I'm telling you. What are the key reasons what people fail to understand? I'm educating you on that. Fair enough, my friends. All right, yeah. This brings to the close of the day, almost close of the day. So tomorrow, quick announcement once again. Tomorrow, I will see you guys. All right, I will see you guys tomorrow on the special class platform. I will see you on the special class platform at 12 and 6 and 8 in the afternoon and the evening. Just be there. And when you are trying to download the platform, download it. So use the code Belvi100. And if you have really still not liked the lecture, what we are trying to discuss, I suggest this is the time you take time to like it and share the link with somebody else as well. They also might get benefited. They will join us for the subsequent lectures. Yeah, coming to the closure comments. There are new plus batches going to be launched on 25th. That's tomorrow. There are 3 new batch launches tomorrow, one for CAT 21, one for CAT 22, and another one for MHCT. If any of this is your need, solid, there are some fantastic educators taking these particular courses. You can join some of these courses. And if you're looking for one-to-one counseling, you can go for CAT Iconic subscription. So you can subscribe and you can get one-to-one counseling both from the mentors as well as the past year students, those who cracked and made it to some of the top IIMs. Limited edition offer, especially if you're looking at CAT 22 or CAT 23. So if you're looking at this, you can go for limited edition offer. By 12 months, you get a pack of 3 months free. Whenever you are whenever they ask for a code, don't hesitate. Feel free to use the code Belvi100 to get 10% discount on anything that you do on the Unacademy platform. Right, campus ambassadors, if anybody is in the college out here, till the college, so you can enroll for the campus ambassador, and there are some goodies and gadgets which would be available based on certain conditions or the constraints. While enrolling, you will definitely get to know about them. There are some incentives, then you have the certification that also you get from there, so from the Unacademy. So that's some of them. So big surprise for all of you in the sense, like, so big bonanzas, basically big bonanzas in the form of vouchers or the watch, whatever it could be, right? So that is based on how you perform in your contest, that is on August 29 at 12 p.m. So you would have this you would have the test that you may have to appear for, the mega combat test. Appear for the test, and if you fairly do well, naturally you stand chance to win some of these gadgets or the oceans. So that comes to the end of the lecture, and if you are looking at after the lecture, the live chat would be disabled. Still, you can put in your comments. So you can put that in the comments. All right, if you like something or something to communicate, even if you liked it, something all right that you want to communicate to me, use the comments and put that in your comments. I will go through your comments, try to respond to them, or at least the appreciative comments. You can put it there. You can put that like and share. All right, I will see you in my tomorrow's lecture at 12 noon. So I will see you there just before lunch at 12 noon with one of the quantitative lectures. I hope all of you enjoyed it. Any suggestions? I will wait for a minute. You can put those suggestions out there and we will close the lecture. Anybody wants to put any suggestion? This is the time you can put your suggestion out there. Okay, hi Shahid. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't notice you. You're there. Good. Yeah. Anything, any suggestion, any comment, anything that you want to say something to me? This is the time. Quickly, I wait for a minute. You can say something there. If there is something to be told or something to be asked, a quick one. Thanks, Rajeshri. Thank you. Thank you. Very glad to hear that. Thanks for your generous comments. Some of you are giving really generous comments. Very nice to hear that. Yeah. Great. All right. All right. Fair enough. Then I will close the lecture here. Good night to all of you. Catch you tomorrow afternoon at 12. Bye till then. Keep practicing. Put your hard best effort.